Welcome to r/FatLogic, where we make fun of the logic and not the people. From Sullen Avalanche. I am 5'10" and 215 pounds, and I like to point out to folks that that is the exact same height and weight as Mike Tyson at the peak of his career. My BMI in Iron Mike's is above 30. OCR Amazon. Shoot, I didn't have Mike Tyson's identical height-weight stats from when he bit that guy's ear off. Therefore, I'm healthy on my FatLogic bingo card. From Emerson Ning. Doctors get so mad when your BMI says you're overweight and your blood work comes back perfect. 80s Bizarrat. Why would they be personally invested if your blood work comes back perfect? They're not going to be the ones paying the price when it's suddenly not. From Secretary Similar. What happens when we diet and try to go below our set point? Each time we try to lose weight, it becomes harder and the weight comes back faster. We can't fight biology. They drew a ridiculous graph where every time you try to lose weight, your set point goes higher and higher and higher and higher. Semi-Pow replied, The set point changes over time, huh? It's almost as if set point isn't really set at all. It's almost as if you folks are making stuff up. However, since the graphic is sort of in some kind of chart form, I'm sure it's rock-hard science. Sarah posted, The first person has accused the second person of having an eating disorder because they drastically reduced their sugar intake to lose weight. The first person, Not making fun of you. If you refuse to eat certain foods and follow a diet that excludes food groups, you are not healthy like you claim. Second person, Girl, you literally told me I have an eating disorder. I tried. I'm sorry. Do you know my doctor and what I did the past 6 years? I don't think so. You know my blood work. The first person. If you eliminate foods because you fear being fat, just like gym bros, don't even realize they have an eating disorder. Larvakite replied, My old therapist recommended quitting sugar for my depression. Not only has my depression gone away completely, had it for 15 years. By the way, not medical advice. But the inflammation that caused my joints to hurt every morning is gone too. I also have way more energy during the day and require less sleep. I guess because I quit eating sugar for my health, I have an eating disorder. By the way, my weight didn't change. Average normal BMI here. Veronica brings us. One person writes, Congrats to all who lost their weight, and also those who are dedicated to do it in coming days or months. I too want to cut down weight. Is there any faster way out? Is there any nice medication available in the world for doing it? Please advise. Thanks. Someone replies, Count your calories, literally the only way. Someone else, Wrong! Read some poop and educate yourself. Thermodynamics at this point is abusive to those with the chronic disease called obesity. Every study shows most fat people eat less than those of lean body mass. Metabolic issues are real. The second person, This is really rare. Most people underestimate their caloric intake. I've lost like 80 pounds over the last 12 months just by tracking everything in MyFitnessPal and staying below my TDEE. It's not easy, but it's simple. Nope, it's not rare. Just like people who equate their personal story with scientific fact, not rare at all. Wowily replied, Food is homeopathic. You get more and more obese the less you eat. Be careful not to eat a huge meal, or you might starve to death. Vorpal Bunny added, Thanksgiving, the great dying. Love Dove Bunny brings us. Yelling at a website? You should write a letter to someone. Trigger words, BMI and healthy weight. In children discussions, mom yelling a lot about it. So I've got short kids, right? And I was interested to see how they compared to other kids their age because I'm curious. And they legitimately like 10 centimeters shorter than most other kids. So I got to this government website and started entering their body stats. It's looking suspiciously like a BMI calculator, but I pushed through. I should have gone with my instincts because suddenly there is bold red lettering exclaiming that both my kids are far above their healthy weights. What the fudge? I obviously am not taking it to heart, but what if my intelligent 8-year-old decides to look that up? I feel like I should be writing a letter to someone. Grillard replied, I'd suggest writing a letter to Dr. Now. Latinbot.2 Pizza is not on the diet. I apologize for my Dr. Now accent. I really can't do his. I should be writing brings us. Complimenting weight loss sends the message that their previous body was flawed and perpetuates the fat-phobic belief that smaller bodies are better bodies. Kangaroo replied, Yeah, every compliment is just a passive-aggressive dig at you. You look so beautiful today equals, you look ugly every other day and I'm a jerk that only cares about your looks. Great job means, you're such a lazy blank usually. Sector brings us something I think was more meant as a joke than FatLogic, but let's look at it anyway. Jim Gaffigan tweeted, I can't figure out if I'm more jealous that Stanley Tucci got to spend so much time in Italy, got to eat all that amazing food, or that they got all that amazing food in Italy and remained so thin. Tucci replied, We went to Italy in 2019. I ate what I wanted, including bread and pasta, which generally caused me to lose weight. Came home and stepped on the scale, and I lost 2.5 pounds. The food is different in Italy. The wheat is different. Banana Pajama replied, Well, the food is a little different in Europe. They tend to have less added sugar and more fiber in their bread and pasta, leaving you feel fuller after fewer calories. Real Italian food is based heavily in fresh, simple ingredients as well. Between that and the increases in NEAT, due to walking a lot while being a tourist, no wonder you lose weight. Pinot New York brings us, I'm writing a story that demands we consider what we lose when we lose weight and what it may look like to mourn our shrinking bellies. What might happen if we thought of all of our organs, especially the one that makes us fat, as necessary for our own completion? What if what we lose must be mourned? And what if in our haste to forever restrict we starve the thing inside of us that cares for us, tends to us the most? That will still be waiting for us when we die. What if we mothered our guts instead of hacking at them and butchering them away, or making them scream at us so that they may be fed and continue in their purpose to create us? What if we let our bellies love us? A witch betwixt replied, If my belly was a sentient organism of its own, and it claimed that it loved me, I would hold it to the same standard as other relationships, a love that requires I disregard my own well-being in order to maintain the relationship is not one I keep around. Mumbulus brings us, I was noodling around at the People magazine site a week ago when I came upon an ad for wide-legged jeans, which everyone is wearing this season. Katie Holmes was wearing these jeans in the ad, and for $29 I could look like her. How great! So I sent away for them, in medium, which is what I wear in most clothes, because I like nice, loose, welcoming pants that do not have an opinion on my value as a human being. But when they arrived, I couldn't button them, not even close. There was a 4-inch gap between the two buttons. I don't think this happened for Katie Holmes. In whatever freakish size she wears, that would probably fit my cat. Tommy of Norwich replied, Help! My pants have become sentient and are passing judgment on my value as a human being. Scuba Guy brings us, Gaining weight after a period of weight suppression can feel like moving into a new home. It feels a bit odd and unfamiliar, sort of like you're living in another person's property. Sometimes you might want to move back to your old house, but deep down, you know that your new house is the best place for you. Puzzle-headed Mood replied, They're totally right. I prefer my new 30-kilogram lighter house to my former house of obesity. Although I still have to redecorate, lower my body fat percentage, I'm quite happy with how I look now. Smiley. Although, I think that was not what they meant. Milk brings us, My 13-year-old would eat the entire box of Oreos. What should I do? First, embrace Oreos as a staple food in your house. Second, serve them with meals and keep them on your snack shelf alongside your usual snack options. Third, let your child eat their fill. Yes, really, I know that freaks you out. But they can't trust their body if you don't trust their body. Fourth, you should enjoy some Oreos with them. They're really good with milk. And yes, it can be so much more complicated than this. If you need a deeper dive into what it means when a kid eats a lot of a particular treat food, please check out this week's Blank, where I get into the reasons kids binge eat, and whether this is even binge eating, and how you can respond. Dolomir replied, What meals are you serving where Oreos are a side dish? Inside simply added, Bread pudding with sides of Oreos and brownies served with a milkshake. From Monoceros, found in the wild on a weight loss forum. Post is a guy worrying about his sister's health as she is clinically obese and he's asking for advice on how to help. Someone replies to the person asking for help, I would be miserable too if my whole family was obsessed with my weight. It's her choice and hers alone. Your sister's weight is none of your business. Size doesn't equal health, and it seems like you should be a lot more concerned with her well-being than the percentage of body fat she has, for fudge's sake. E-Doctor replied, "Oh, so now it's a choice?" Ice Queen 17 brings us a conversation. I hate people with fast metabolism so much. They're lazier than me. They will turn around and call me a big butt. Lucky butt women with their genetics. My best friend literally constantly eats and drinks unhealthy stuff almost all day and stays thin because they have a fast metabolism. Someone replies to that person, I guarantee if you counted the amount of calories you had in a day, you're eating more. People act as if metabolism can mean you can eat 8,000 calories and not gain weight. Research shows that metabolism in the large majority of cases only vary by 5 to 8%. The first person, lol, no. They literally sit around eating sweets, chocolate, and crisps all day and drinking soda. They pride themselves on the fact that they can drink 30 juice boxes in 5 minutes. OCR Amazon. The logistics of drinking 30 juice boxes in 5 minutes, you'd need to have them all set up in advance because those little straws are impossible. Veghead brings us. Critics of Lena Dunham's new plus-size clothing collection say the pieces aren't inclusive to all plus-size people because the largest size is 26. The Pickle Juice replied, The cheapest item she sells is $98. I can understand people being upset that cheap brands don't have their size, but complaining about this clothing line, not including you, is really something only pampered people would do. Point and Shooty. It's literally just a tank top, too. Why would you pay $98 for a white tank top? The jacket and skirt are cute, I'll give her that, but I'm mad about the tank top. Midnight Cigarette brings us. For context, this was a comment on a snippet of my 600-pound life. I was actually happy to see Green Sanity got more likes than Reds. Restriction is never the answer. She needs to address why she's overeating and relearn how to listen to her hunger and fullness cues. Diets and restriction are just teaching her how to have an eating disorder. No one should go to bed hungry, even if they are overweight. Heart. Umek replied, The people who end up on my 600-pound life already have eating disorders. Do all these FA people forget that the eating disorder that starts with A is not the only eating disorder? Sure, if they did that, they would have to admit that their problems are not caused by society. Kangarooby Tuesday brings us. It doesn't matter why someone is fat. It doesn't matter if someone is unhealthy. It doesn't matter if I eat a fudging Krispy Kreme donut every day for the rest of 2021. That's not why fat phobia is bad. No one owes you health. No one owes you thinness. Cranky with the keyboard replied, Yeah, this is not a hard concept. I owe my husband health by staying on my depression bed so as not to run my car up against a tree. And he owes me health by taking his meds to avoid another stroke. Are we perfect? And can we 100% prevent these things? No. But you try your darndest for those you love. Zorny brings us. Someone asks, So the weight loss industry is a dumpster fire of problems. But what about moderate weight loss for health? 95 to 98% of weight loss attempts fail, regardless of the motivation behind those attempts. And very fat people have a less than 1% chance of reaching our BMI recommended weight in our lifetimes. Do what you want with your body, but expectation management is important here. Most of us have expectations that simply aren't in line with what research tells us is likely or possible. Raku replied, This is your daily reminder that weight loss of just 5% body mass can cause clinically significant improvement in several weight-related illnesses. They don't even have to make it all the way. Just trying it all does so much for your health. Not to mention losing 5% and keeping it off is better than gaining 5% a year every year for the rest of your life. Baby Goat brings us. Health food usually costs more also. Look at fast food places. $1 menu with burgers and soda, while salads and water are triple the price. Sammy CJ replied, Someone on my friends list once posted about gaining weight and the price of salad at McDonald's versus a hamburger, and I was like, huh? Of course it costs more to eat at a fast food place than to keep the ingredients for the occasional salad in your fridge. Make your own, and it'll be way cheaper. Some people don't get it. They're convinced convenient foods are also cheaper. I've literally had arguments, and people tell me I hate poor people for saying that cereal was expensive and a waste of money, even after I did the math showing them the monthly difference in prices. Book Hermit replied, "Cereal is expensive. Oatmeal is pennies per serving and can be spiced or sweetened with stuff you keep in the pantry. People that say stuff like you hate poor people because XYZ have never needed to eat on a budget. Eating off a dollar menu is not poor people food. Dry pasta, rice, beans, bread, peanut butter, frozen vegetables, and whole chicken is what you buy to make your dollar stretch all week." Elmir 2000 brings us, "Being told you're overweight or obese according to BMI and prescribed weight loss is not evidence-based health care. Fact, not an opinion, not anti-health. Fact. First, BMI is junk. Second, the terms overweight and obese are stigmatizing and pathologizing. Humans are in their bodies and deserve respect always. Weight stigma kills and is never okay. Third, weight is not a behavior, and body diversity is normal. So the mere fact of being at a particular weight does not equate to the presence of health concerns. Fourth, weight loss does not automatically equate to improved health outcomes. So if there are health concerns, a decrease in body size doesn't necessarily mean those concerns reduce or diminish. Fifth, even if weight loss would mean improved health outcomes, intentional weight loss is not sustainable for most people. It's also not without harm, including disordered eating, negative body image, lowered immune function, decreased bone density, and an increased cardiometabolic risk from weight cycling. Sixth, weight is influenced by 100+ factors, many of which are not within our individual control. Again, it's not a behavior. We can, however, use evidence-based healthcare to target behaviors that improve health outcomes and are not dependent on weight loss. This could include physical activity, regular eating patterns, sleep hygiene, and access to regular healthcare visits. A bunch of numbers replied, "I know one of these sorts of people in real life, and honestly, she irritates me with it way too often. Not someone I go out of my way to see. She has taken personal offense at me dropping over 20 pounds last year. And I never bring it up. She does. Now I've started dieting again to try and lose the last 5 to 10 pounds. And she noticed and pretends to be concerned that I'm getting too skinny and that I'm starving myself and I'm going to get sick. My BMI is 24.6. I'm fine." A throwaway account brings us, "You can dislike your body at any size, but disliking your body is not the same as living in a marginalized body. Anyone can dislike their body. Anyone can struggle with body acceptance. Anyone can feel dissatisfied with their appearance. Sadly, nobody is immune to that. The difference is that if you live in a smaller and able-bodied body and don't like your body, you still have more privilege than others do. Those who do not understand why the body positivity movement came about, which was created by and for those living in large and marginalized bodies, often say, well, there are things I don't like about my body, so I can take up space in this movement. The reality is that you can dislike your body and not have your health questioned at the doctor without them even doing an exam because of your weight, not have to worry about finding clothes that fit you, not have to deal with people who hate you for merely existing in a fat body, not have to worry about sitting on an airplane or in a chair at a restaurant, not have to live in a world in which your body is not represented. The list goes on. Not liking your body is not the same thing as living in a marginalized body. You can dislike your body and carry immense privilege. You can dislike your body and fit into what society wrongfully deems the ideal body type. Struggling with body acceptance does not equate to being marginalized. The two can coexist, but they do not always." Kangaroo replied to all that, "I know a woman who used to work as a model. She appears small and able-bodied. She has epilepsy, a brain tumor that can't be operated on because of her heart condition, and one of her kidneys had to be stapled to her abdominal muscles. Doctors used to be dismissive of her because of her looks. Thinking that worrying about fitting into a chair in a restaurant is being marginalized is the definition of being completely unaware of your privilege." Flowers Tamlin added, "Oh, hey, it's me." No, but seriously, I have a similar story. Worked as a model, tall and thin, as well as epilepsy, due to a brain tumor. However, mine was removed in 2011, but the epilepsy still persists. And the thing is, they talk about body positivity as something only fat and disabled people have. I say disabled means visible disabilities, as I have an invisible illness. When I point out that I have a disability, as I never know when a seizure is going to come, I am met with mockery in the body positivity community, as I don't fit into their standard disability box. I can't go to concerts, see certain movies, or even see certain videos online for fear of having a seizure. I have to take the elevator, as I've had too many times, where I've had seizures and stares and seriously injured myself. According to law, I cannot hold a driver's license, and I haven't ridden a bike since I was a child. But I keep getting bullied in body positivity spaces as I'm thin and able-bodied. It sucks. Baby It's Gay Outside brings us. After I tried to find a crochet top on Etsy, I have no respect for people who charge way more for crochet clothes in larger sizes. Makes no sense to me. If you price a small tank at $35 and a large at $60, that's just dumb. C. Petal replied, as a crafter, I have actually had people hand me a single $5 ball of yarn and expect me to be able to make a full blanket out of it. So this isn't just specifically FatLogic, but also a general lack of understanding and respect for the value of handcrafted custom goods. From Sprockety Spock. Darn, there's a lot of fat phobia going on up in here. Like, a lot. Let me settle something once and for all. A person's weight tells you absolutely nothing about their activity level. I'm 5'6" and 220 pounds, which puts me into the obese category. I'm also a hiker, a farmer, and I do all manner of construction projects, sheds, chicken coops, etc., solo. In farming season, I eat about 3,500 calories a day to maintain my weight, and it's not because I want to. It's because experience has taught me that if I only eat when I'm hungry, with my high activity levels, I'll drop 5 to 10 pounds a week. I can tolerate that for about 10 days, then I hit a wall and I literally cannot get out of bed. So if I want to keep functioning like an elite athlete, I have to fuel my body like one. I don't try to lose weight anymore. I used to. I can drop weight fast. Last time I tried to lose weight, I was dropping about 30 pounds a month. It was extremely unhealthy. I had bad thoughts. I lost all energy and strength. I went from schlepping around 100-pound loads to being unable to lift a water bottle. My blood pressure and resting heart rate skyrocketed. My hair started falling out. So now I choose not to lose weight because what is healthy for me, given my activity type and the demands I place on my body, is to be heavy. I'm a 40-year-old woman with a resting heart rate of about 30 to 40 and a blood pressure of about 90/60. If you actually think that fat people can't do active things, what you're saying is that you have bought into the myth that people are only fat because they're lazy, and that is most definitely fatphobic and wrong. On the flip side, I was 300 pounds as a dancer trying to eat no more than 600 calories a day, especially on days I wasn't in the gym, and I didn't drop an ounce of fat, but I was very active, especially on days that I broke down and ate. I now actually eat, and I can be incredibly active, love theme parks, traveling, and going on a good walk/hike. So yeah, people on this thread need to chill with that fat phobia. This might sound crazy, but I think there might be a happy medium between overeating and starving. I'll need to look into that. Imaginary Bumblebee brings us, minor UK celebrity goes public with her desire to become healthier. Fat activists are offended. Celeb responds with a major dose of sanity. One of her so-called fans writes, "The kind of diet you're showing here is incredibly dangerous. We live in a world where eating disorders are rife. This is not a sustainable way to eat. Unless you are eating a minimum of 1,800 to 2,000 calories per day, you will not be able to sustain weight loss, and you will damage your body. It's really dangerous to promote a day of eating like this as healthy." The celebrity responds, "As soon as I put up anything about wanting to improve my health, control my weight, or reduce the amount of calories I eat, I get sent these kinds of messages. I'm a 51-year-old woman who has a fitness qualification, is of sound mental health, made sensible decisions about my life, have based my decisions on scientific research, never had an eating disorder, and am sharing healthy food recipes on my Instagram to motivate, inspire, and offer alternative ideas to processed food. Yet I'm being advised by a non-expert that what I am doing contributes to eating disorders or even encourages it. Here's a fact. In order to lose weight, you need to reduce your calories, restrict your portion size. Now, you can lose weight by eating 3 Mars bars a day, but it's not going to do your internal body composition any good at all. So here's my declaration. I'm going to be sharing the following on my Instagram. If it offends you or contributes negatively to your mental health, please do not follow me. 1. Healthy food options. 2. Fat loss results. 3. How I wean my kids off sugar-laden food. 4. Fitness, active workouts. 5. Results of changing my lifestyle from being mindful about what I put into my mouth. If my posts of trying to incorporate a healthier lifestyle offend you, then please unfollow me, because the ultimate respect I can have for myself and for my followers is to become a better version of myself, encourage behavior that will help promote positivity and contribute toward happiness. I know what it's like to be overweight. I was in that danger zone after giving birth. I have diabetes, cancer, heart attacks, and depression in my family, all food-induced and stress-induced. I will say it loud and proud. I have to lose fat. I'm going to reduce the amount of food I'm going to eat. I'm going to get my calories from fresh, natural foods. I will follow a plan that has been scientifically proven to lose fat, improve my insulin levels, and improve my internal health. No, I'm not on a quick fix. I'm on a long-term lifestyle change for myself and my family. I am fed up of being pressured into believing that healthy is a dirty word. Adidas Boys replied, "It's interesting how people will critique BMI and how it was formulated, and its history, and who it's applicable to, but be totally accepting of the 2,000 calorie daily requirement being okay for everyone without looking at its origins." From Sun Waffles. You know that, being fat isn't bad, right? Most human bodies have adapted in such a way that it's easy to gain fat and muscle and harder to lose them, especially fat. It's easy to gain fat because your body needs it and we live in a calorie-rich time. Fat doesn't equal bad, and I'm so tired of our entire society acting like it does. Fat is stored energy, that's it. Energy is what you need when you start training or exercising regularly, especially martial arts training. OCR Amazon replied, "If you use the stored energy, you lose weight. If you never use the stored energy, you didn't need to store it, or that much of it anyway, in the first place." It's Jazzyo brings us. I really like my Peloton. I thought I wouldn't and got it early this pandemic for my husband, who loves to go to the gym. There are a lot of triggers on Peloton that can get you away from joyful movement, like comparing yourself with others, badges for days or weeks in a row, number of rides in a week, etc. But if you aren't triggered by that kind of stuff, you can ignore it. Also, the instructors are definitely fat-phobic and equate working out with being good, but they are also cognizant about people doing what's best for them. I wish they had a fat instructor who really understood joyful movement. All that being said, I get what you're saying, but as I've learned from years of dieting, I can't exercise my way to losing weight. It just doesn't work for me. Joyful movement is good for my body and mental health. Exercising for weight loss is just another diet. Glorificus replied, "Joyful movement is a term that gives me flashbacks to being on a psychiatric ward, and this patchouli-drenched occupational therapist chick would get all the loonies to pretend to be cushions and trees to Enya and dolphin shrieks. Quite proud I left that place after 3 months. On my discharge papers they wrote, 'Refuse to attend group therapies.'" Elmir 2000 brings us. If you want to lose weight, you just have to be dedicated and want it bad enough to stay on it, and make it a lifestyle change, not a diet. Me. Lifestyle change is another word for diet, and also you can be super dedicated and have a lot of factors going against you, preventing you from reaching your goal. But what if you reach your goal and it doesn't look or feel like you expected? What if your goal is to lose weight and be happy, and you lose weight but you aren't happy, and it was hard to eat and exercise like that, so you stop doing that, and then you regain all the weight and more? Now what? Shouldn't you have not done all this in the first place? Dedicate yourself to something else fulfilling and enriching, rather than trying to manipulate your body in a way that is going to backfire. Valley Ghoul replied, "This logic could be applied to any goal. Why go to school? You could graduate and still be sad. Why get married? You could find love and still be sad. It's a miserable way to approach life." Quiet Wolf brings us one he found in a strength training subreddit. "Does anyone have a suggested routine for weight loss that they would recommend?" No! Because long-term weight loss is rarely possible, and I think it's irresponsible to suggest otherwise. 5 out of 100 are able to maintain their target weight after a diet. Nearly every single person regains almost all of the weight they lose during a diet within 5 years. This isn't just fad diets like keto, intermittent fasting, and Atkins. This applies to all diets. And to everyone saying calories in, calories out, I want to know how you're actually able to track calories out at all. Unless you have extensive lab equipment at home that you use to measure your metabolism every day, there's truly no way you're going to accurately estimate your actual calories out, especially since losing 3% of your body weight can cause a 17% decrease in your metabolism. We need to end this myth that weight loss is a matter of discipline, of eating less, of moving more, or 1,000 other magic bullets when all the evidence we have shows that it's absolutely not. You can improve your nutrition by doing stuff like eating a more diverse range of foods that don't have added sugar. You can improve your fitness by working out. These things can greatly improve your life, make you feel stronger or more energetic, but trying to lose weight can result in actually gaining weight because of how dozens of systems in our body respond to losing weight. Please, yes, work out and eat what makes you feel satisfied, but know that scientists for decades have failed to figure out what actually allows a few people to maintain weight loss while everyone else cannot. Colorful Snowflake replied, that losing 3% of your body weight can cause a 17% decrease in your metabolism is just dangerous nonsense. Losing weight can cause a decrease in your metabolism because there is less body for metabolism. I don't burn as many calories just living as I did when I weighed 35 pounds more. It doesn't mean my metabolism is broken. I just have less weight, so I burn less. We know why people fail. They don't have the discipline. Grotchery went on, I went on a search for the source of this claim once, and the only source I could find was a Huffington Post article, where the claim was not cited. So, yeah, I'm not going to say it was pulled out of the butt entirely, but I'm going to guess that it's, at the very least, taken wildly out of context. From Levi Fittum, comments on a YouTube video. Telling a fat person they shouldn't lose weight because they are beautiful is like telling an alcoholic they shouldn't stop drinking because they are funny. Someone replies, there's a thing though, not all fat people are unhealthy. Natural bodybuilders are fat, but because they have a lot of muscle, yes, not all fat people are healthy, but some are. They aren't fat. They are muscular. You just said it yourself. It's muscles, not fat. Please stop contradicting yourself. From Captain Cork. Myth number 6, a calorie is a calorie. The truth, on paper, it's simple math. A single gram of carbohydrates or protein contains 4 calories, whereas a gram of fat delivers 9 calories. But calories are not always what they appear to be. For starters, there is plenty of evidence that eating the same number of calories from processed foods encourages greater fat gain than eating them from whole foods. Funny Chad replied, processed foods are more likely to be less filling, substantial, and nutrient-rich, but in terms of calories, I'm pretty sure it's really just sicko. Lol. Sensitive Cobbler added, so I think I found a loophole. I had pizza for dinner, even though I'm lactose intolerant, because it's Good Friday, and pizza on Lent Fridays is just a thing. Anyway, the pizza made an emergency evacuation shortly after, so I Googled what that meant for calorie absorption, and I found a whole new meaning of calories in, calories out. That was just a joke, by the way. Please don't do that if you're lactose intolerant. Outdoor Toast brings us a quote from an article about how to get rid of unwanted quarantine weight. Weight gain is an acid inflammation problem. When we become toxic, inflamed, and overacidic from stress and stress eating, our body has to hold on to fat to buffer or neutralize these toxins, so that they don't harm our more important and vital organs like our lungs, liver, heart, brains, kidneys, and blood, said a doctor. The body literally binds these toxins to our adipose tissue, our fat, and lodges it into our connective tissues, which I call the acid magnets of the body, your belly, butt, etc. So to burn fat and lose weight, you need to get off your acid. Detoxify the body with alkalizing foods will kick the acid and the fat that is attached to it. M. Metal replied, what do you want to bet that Dr. Blank is a chiropractor or non-medical doctor? Raymond Duck looked it up. Dr. Blank is a chiropractor, health coach, certified raw food chef, triathlete, ultramarathoner, and lecturer. Dr. Blank has been practicing chiropractic care for 14 years. Yes, I was never going to take that bet, because it was a sure thing. Just an FYI, the alkaline diet has been debunked. From Manson. I'm in the process of learning about intuitive eating, reading the Fudge It Diet, and lots of blogs online, and preparing myself for the journey, but it already feels like I just woke up from a coma. It's crazy! I know there are a lot of BS within diet culture. Didn't even know that was a term. Like, obviously weight loss and detox teas are just poop teas, but I truly didn't understand just how crazy and deep it is. Like, they seriously managed to normalize starvation and make it the norm. People are literally shaming other people for not starving themselves and praising other people for not eating enough. That's what being thin is, unless it's purely genetic. I hope all this newfound anger will make all the mac and cheese and chips I'm about to eat even more satisfying, lol. Blutarg replied, So hungry. Haven't eaten in 2 hours. Send help. Starving. The pickle juice. I went 5 minutes without eating once. It was horrifying. Blutarg. But didn't your body panic and shut down? Cow 2 brings us things we need to normalize. Women eating more than a man. Having dessert after lunch. Changing your views on nutrition. Being hungrier on some days. Having clothes in multiple sizes and eating frosting from a can. Turner-esque replied, You can eat more than a guy, but if you're shorter and are less active, be prepared to put on weight as a result. Love Dove Bunny brings us content warning, blood pressure. Hi, everyone. I came to the hospital to get something checked out today. It's all okay, but my blood pressure is very high, and they are keeping me here until it comes down. They've given me a tablet, and I'm just waiting. A nurse came and asked me some questions, including my weight. I deliberately have no idea what I weigh. Does anyone know if there's any clinical need for me to be weighed for blood pressure purposes? I would rather decline to be weighed, but will comply and ask them not to tell me if it's essential. Love Dove Bunny replied, I'm just criticizing the OP for having an issue with being weighed at a hospital and being related to their blood pressure. Judging by the picture, not shown, the OP may be between 250 to 270 pounds, so that's obese. My blood pressure was high when I weighed that much because weight influences lots of aspects of health. Now that I'm over 100 pounds lighter, my blood pressure is back in the normal range for the first time in my adult life. From Lexi Black Market. Yep, I had some doctor turn me down over the phone for surgery because I didn't meet the BMI requirements and there would be health risks. Someone replies, Honestly, probably a good thing a doctor that believes in BMI wasn't going to do surgery on you, but I'm sorry you still had to deal with that. Stremino Pile, health risks? What a thing to put in sarcastic quotes. Semipie added, I'm so sick of my doctor talking about cancer and the huge tumor he saw on my MRI. Geez, he just needs to shut up. I'm so over this terminal diagnosis. From Avocado Lump. Also, overeating is part of having a healthy relationship with food. The idea that perfect eating is eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full is a way diet culture has hijacked the concepts of intuitive eating to be once again tainted by control and shame. Joy Jones replied, Now it's not normal to stop eating when you're full. What's the new stopping point? Vomiting? Stomach bursting? Akimzel added, I've seen one of the more out there prominent FAs argue that overeating isn't a thing, because you'll vomit if you eat too much. So since you can't necessarily OD on snack food, not a problem apparently. Galactica Overlord brings us, It's a conversation somewhere. She's not. I would rather have bacon and donuts than be a size 2. Someone replied, But here's the thing, you can have it both ways. It's all about balance and portion size. Coming from a size 2 that eats bacon and donuts, smile. No, your comment is ableist. Size 2s can absolutely do that. However, every single body is different, regardless of how much balance is present. Why all so darn loud? Replied. As a disabled person, I'm really starting to get sick of the overuse of ableist. From r/science. Excessive consumption of sugar during early life yields changes in the gut microbiome that may lead to cognitive impairments. Adolescent rats, given sugar-sweetened beverages, developed memory problems and anxiety-like behaviors as adults, linked to sugar-inducing gut microbiome changes. So, long story short, eating junk food can affect your brain. From Fairy Whisper. When it comes to dogs and other animals, we celebrate their diversity and differences. We love that they come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. It's what makes them unique and what is so special about them. We don't blame them for their size or shape, try and fix them or mold their bodies to fit within this dog ideal. Why must we do this for humans? And now on to DeChonkers, where people do try to get their dogs within a healthy ideal. From Cecil W.P. Maze, from 53 pounds to 36 pounds. It's a black dog with white paws. He starts out kind of chunky and ends rather healthy looking. He looks like his dechunking is done. There's about 7 different pictures if you want to take a look. From Odysseus. Hi, I adopted these two ladies back in September, and I'm not sure if they're overweight or just large. They play a lot together with me and my mom's puppies, but I've never had cats, so I'm not sure. Thank you. They're your standard gray cats with black stripes, both of them. Actually really hard to tell apart. If they really want to know if they're overweight, they should obviously ask a vet and not just ask random people online. From Valby, it's a picture of a white bunny. In the first picture, he looks like he's got a double chin because he's carrying so much fat, but in the second picture, he looks rather healthy. Poor bunny was overweight with the wrong hay, too. Too many treats and no space for exercise. Just a couple months later, and she's lost 1 pound. I guess 1 pound is a big deal on a rabbit. Floxing brings us a picture of a bobcat. You guys might remember me from 2019 with the DeChonkin bobcat Bonnie. Well, here she is, fully dechunked and happy. Hummus and Days brings us a picture of an orange cat with a white belly and face. My cat is 23 pounds when we adopted him. Today he's 12 pounds and no longer diabetic. And now he's wearing a cute red scarf. From A Happy Life, it's a black cat looking away from the camera. My boy Thomas, 16.5 pounds to 15. Still had a way to go, but we are getting there. Highest weight was 18, not pictured. From Mr. John, Bruno getting dechunked. He's a gray cat who apparently likes to stand on his hind legs like a human. Maybe he thinks he's a human? In the first picture, he looks a little bit chunky. In the second picture, he looks less chunky. And you can see his bright green eyes. From Store Brand Waffles. It's a gray cat with black stripes and a white belly. In the first picture where he's overweight, he looks like he's mad. And in the second picture where he's dechunked a bit, he looks more curious. I didn't realize how much he had lost until this old picture came up in my memories. Everyone congratulates Simba for his hard work. From Spicy Snack Mix. It's a brown dog with white belly and a white face and white paws. In the first picture he looks a little bit chunky. In the second picture he looks perfectly healthy. Our good boy Cooper was 110 pounds in the left photo. In the right photo, he is now 85 pounds. A honkin' dechonkin'. From Muggle Queen. Wait, we have a queen? It's a light brown dog. In the first picture he looks very overweight, and in the second picture he looks very healthy, and he's got a stylish scarf on. Avit went from 135 pounds to 97 pounds and is living his best life. We adopted him as a senior, and it took about a year to get his hypothyroid diagnosis. He's so much more active and happy now. From Dealer False. It's two kittens, one's orange with a white belly. The other one's got orange and black spots and a white belly. Two kitties, now dechunked. From Cole Rex. It's an orange cat, a little bit stripy. When we started, we could see Prince's bald spot, so we knew he had to trim down. Now it's only just noticeable. I'm very confused. Do most cats have a bald spot that's only visible when they get overweight? Well, that's it. Have a nice day, everybody. Stay awesome.